This video marks the start of a series I'm doing that basically analyzes how impactful the module upgrades are to certain operators. For this video specifically, I'm going to talk about ops who got great buffs from their modules. Here Mostima, I got the thing you wanted, a comically large key. What do you even need it for? It unlocks time itself? That doesn't even make any sense. How is that possible? What? No. Mostima is probably the most renowned operator for getting a massive buff from her module. Her first talent increases SP regen for all caster operators, while her second talent reduces the movement speed of all the enemies in her range. What we really want to focus on is her third skill, which increases the effectiveness of her second talent by 3 times, increases her attack, expands her attack range, and makes her attacks push with a small amount of force. Mostima's module makes her cost less DP, which is kinda right? But her talent upgrades go pretty hard. Basically, when she's deployed, she'll reduce the movement speed of all enemies globally, while reducing the movement speed of enemies in her range even more. Now if you put all these movement speed reduction numbers together, Mostima with pot 5 and her S3 active can reduce all enemy speed in her range by 99%, which at that point it's basically a bind. So the enemies stop moving when they're in her range? Yes, but not quite. Enemies actually have a minimum speed of 0.1 tiles per second, so technically they're not bound. But at that speed, and with Mostima's push force, they might as well be. With a pretty good uptime of 27 seconds, you essentially get almost half a minute of a funny Zawarudo JoJo reference on the enemies. Especially since movement speed reduction isn't tied to a certain status effect, this slow is applicable on every enemy. This seems like a really great buff for Mostima, and it is. As I've said in my Moody Blues modules video, enhancing Mostima's crowd control can make her much more powerful with her third skill, and that's exactly the route HG took. Wow, he can predict the future, no way. But there's still problems with her. First of all, AoE casters still deal absolutely jack no damage. Their damage is abysmal, so you're essentially using Mostima for purely a 27-second bind. The second issue is one I mentioned in the Moody Blues video as well. Her uptime might be pretty decent, but her downtime is just awful to deal with. So that restricts Mostima's niche to be a hella droppable AoE bind, but since she costs 26 DP even with her module, it becomes debatable on whether you should heli drop her or just come up with an alternative solution. High cost operators such as Mudrock can be heli dropped because they're strong enough to warrant that cost. Mudrock can do some crazy tanking and stalling on and off skill, but if Mostima runs out of her third skill, she's dead weight on the field. And she's definitely not going to do anything for a while with that nasty 110 SP cost. However, as CC9 proved, crowd control can be the most significant factor in your run, so if we get any hellish CCs like that again, Mostima with her stage 3 module might show up in the roster. Here's that record collection box you wanted. You want to play your favorite song? I mean, go ahead, as long as it's not something like Screamo. How do people even like those genres? For Specter the Unchained, it actually doesn't matter what skills we look at since her module upgrades don't really affect them that much. I got my ass handed to me a couple videos ago for emphasizing Spalter's pre-module state instead of her post-module, so let's fix that in this video. Her first talent makes her substitute deal arts damage in the 8 surrounding tiles while reducing enemy movement speed, and her second talent increases all Abyssal Hunter HP by a hefty amount. Her module increases the sub's damage and potency of the movement speed reduction by quite a bit. It also gives her some SP when she switches back to her original form. This bit is pretty important because substitutes can't regenerate SP, so being guaranteed SP when Spalter switches back means she can get her skills way sooner. What's crazier is that substitute though. It deals even more damage with even more slow, and this doesn't seem like much of an upgrade until you take a look at Specter's stats, which are just almost 1k attack, Jesus Christ. Since the substitute deals AoE arts damage with a movement speed reduction, sometimes it's just straight up better to have Specter intentionally kill herself now, rather than have the original form on the field. And because she's of the Dollkeeper branch, she's basically immortal, so you're going to have her on the field for quite a while. You can say that the module synergizes with Specter's second skill more, since that skill forces her to switch to her sub when it ends, but that gets us into map specifics and which timings do better, and I don't really want to talk about that. One thing's for sure though, with her module upgrades, Specter went from being a decent operator to an extremely strong one now. You know, out of all of the accessories the other operators wanted, I think yours was like the most normal. Here's the crossbow kit you wanted. When am I up for drinks? I think I'll have to pass. I'm not really a big fan of alcohol. Oh man, I'm so bummed out. I have to miss out on that new drink. Carrot juice and Oreos sounds absolutely delicious. Man, I'm so mad right now. Schwarz is an interesting case. Her first talent gives her a funny crit chance that reduces enemy defense, while her second talent gives all sniper operators more attack if Schwarz and another sniper are deployed on the field. Her skills and kit take advantage of these attack buffs to give her that big red number we associate with her today. Schwarz's module reduces her redeployment time by 25 seconds. Talent upgrades increase the attack buff snipers get by just having Schwarz in the squad instead of deploying her. And yeah, that's it. That's the entire module. You might be wondering how it's even significant then, because to a lot of people, including me, it's a little mid. And you know what? It is. I mean, there is this amazing H84 clear with snipers only that uses Schwarz and Fortus to spawn kill Tallulah as soon as Tallulah walks out of the spawn box, and then immediately redeploy Schwarz to kill second phase, making use of those valuable 25 seconds saved. There's also a 616 clear with Schwarz and Shelter duo that also use module to redeploy Schwarz to get that slight bit of extra damage in on Frost Nova while acting as bait so Shelter could solo the rest of the map. This module is a godsend, specifically for Sniper Knights players. It makes Schwarz as fast as April's redeployment time, except her kit is big red damage number, so she sets up faster for killing the big enemies. It gives her an entirely new niche, which is semi-fast redeploy. This aspect has been abused by many Sniper Knights clears, along with buffing the entire squad's attack in general, and if you remember anything about how physical damage scales past defense, you'd know that any increase in attack in operators like Exu or Shelter becomes mega stacked. If you're anyone else using this module, however, it just comes off as a little quirky and different, and that's about it. I know the majority of you watching this don't really care about this type of stuff. Most players don't touch high-end content, so I'm sure you guys are confused at how these modules, or this one specifically, are even game-changing, and the real answer is that in the end, it all depends on how you play the game. Sure, to a general content player, a stage 3 Schwarz module would be used for that slight attack buff, and that's about it. But to a Sniper Knights player, it's the one module that'll clutch all your low up clears. Same thing with the Mostima module. The 27-second pseudo bind is nice, but if you have Shelter, Surtur, Thorns, and Silver Ash in your squad and you just want to beat the hell out of Mandragora, there's no need to take up Mostima's funny JoJo reference. It just goes to show how in Arknights, different types of players benefit from different types of modules.